friends, I absolutely cannot believe it is almost the last week of July. Where has this summer went? It seriously feels like we were just wrapping up the school year, and now we are full steam ahead for prepping for this fall, for this upcoming year. Many of my listeners are actually first-year teachers, and here's the deal. I have been seeing so many of them just saying, I'm so overwhelmed, I don't know where to begin, there's so much to do. How do I get all of this done in the little bit of time that I have? A lot of teachers don't even get to get into their classroom until the week before school starts, or there's a camp going on in their classroom, they're remodeling, their classroom is still getting cleaned. Whatever it is, there's just so many reasons why teachers have to wait until the last minute, or even if they don't have to wait until the last minute, they seriously just feel like they aren't going to be able to get all of the things done that they want to get done before the school year begins. So today we're going absolutely off the cuff. You guys know me. I am not very good at just rolling with things, but I'm trying something new. One of my goals has been to make this podcast just sound a little bit more natural. So we are truly going off the cuff today. I do not have a script in front of me. We're just going to have a conversation, and we are going to talk about how you can beat that overwhelming feeling as we get ready to ramp up for your first year of teaching. So with that, let's get into today's episode.
Welcome to the North Dakota Teaching Podcast. Whether you're a first-year teacher, veteran teacher, or just a mom trying to gain some new insights, you are right where you are meant to be. Kayla Durkin, founder of the Blossoming Teacher course, is passionate about helping new teachers blossom into the teacher they were born to be. Kayla wants to help inspire teachers to be their best self, whether that means sharing about personal or professional development, self-care, or the latest and most effective teaching strategies. Through this podcast, you will hear from real teachers sharing their stories about teaching, all with one main goal in mind: to be able to make an impact and help other teachers blossom. And with that, here is your host, Kayla Durkin.
All right, friends, let's get into it. Today, we're going to be talking about how you can beat that overwhelming feeling as we near the back to school season. I just want to quickly throw in, if you're new here, if this is your first time listening to the North Dakota Teaching Podcast, feel free to go grab your 10 teaching tips at ndteaching.com/tips. These tips are going to help you gear up for your first year of teaching and just feel more prepared as we get into this busy season. But anyway, let's talk about things. You're stressed, you're overwhelmed, your to-do list is a mile long, and you don't even know where to begin. So here's what I want you to do. Let's get everything that's going on in your mind out of your head. I don't know about you, but for me, especially when things start to get busy like this current season that we're in, there are so many things that are floating around at all times, and I just can't even process what I need to do next because I'm so worried about trying to keep track of all of the different things that I need to do, especially when I'm taking a shower or when I'm working out or just any of those things where our mind really starts to wander because we're doing things that don't take up a lot of energy and a lot of brain power. So here's what you need to do. Grab a notebook, or if you don't have one nearby, you can also use your cell phone. Just go into the Notes tab, pull up a Google document, whatever it is, whatever makes the most sense for you. But I want you to do a complete brain dump. Take absolutely everything that is going on in your mind right now and dump it all out on paper. I don't care if it's 2 or 3 pages long. Get every single thing out. Anything that's weighing on your mind, especially that has to do with going back to school, put it on. If it has to do with getting your hair cut before the school year starts, if it has to do with making sure you get your dog into the vet, if it has to do with supplies you need to buy, papers you need to print, things you need to cut out, things you're hoping to hang up, whatever it is, get every single one of those things out of your head and onto a piece of paper. Once you have it all out, that's really not enough. Now we need to figure out, okay, what are our quick wins? What can we accomplish right away? What are some things that maybe don't have to be done right away? We just want to start organizing these. Now, for me, I like to do a may do and a must do, but I also like to categorize mine by when it can get done. Now, if you can't get into your classroom, some of those things might have to wait for a little bit. So start by just picking out some important dates and figuring out this I can get done by the weekend. This I can get done by next week. This I need to get get done by tomorrow? Personally, for me, I literally go through my whole calendar and I start listing everything in the exact order that I want to accomplish it in. And then I put asterisks or I highlight or I just color code the ones that are really, really important to me. I actually recently just did this again a couple days ago. I think it was maybe Sunday or Monday night. I was taking a shower and I was in the shower and I was stressed, you guys. There's a lot going on in all of the best ways. We have our College to Classroom Success Summit happening on July 28th. If you haven't heard of it yet, it's all about enhancing what you learned in college so that you can be successful in the classroom. So that's happening on July 28th. So of course, there's a lot that needs to get done before next week. I also have our Reignite the Math Classroom Conference that's happening on August 8th. So that's coming up quickly. We have our Back to School Night PD on August 2nd. We have a coaching call for the Blossoming Teachers on August 4th. And with all of these things come presentations, comes notes, and then just the everyday grind. And also, I do have a day job too. So I think you get what I'm saying when there is a lot floating around in my head. So the other night when I was taking a shower, I was like, I need to practice what I am preaching to all of these first year teachers. I keep telling them, get it out on paper, get it out on paper. And I had to do that for myself. So I pulled out my computer when I got out of the shower and I literally just started typing every single date over the next 2 weeks. And then I took all of the brain dump ideas that I came up with that I just needed to get out of my mind. And I just started placing them in that calendar. Or I guess it's not really a calendar, but it's just a Word document of every single date for the next 2 weeks. And the reason I did that is because let's talk about this week. Monday was, I believe, the 19th. So I had Monday the 19th and then the 4 most important things that I wanted to accomplish on that day, plus a couple extra things if I could squeeze it in. Same with Tuesday, same with Wednesday, all the way for the next 2 weeks so that I know what I need to accomplish and when I need to accomplish it by. And then I don't have to worry about trying to remember the things I need to get done. And then at the same time, if things pop up, I can just write them in after I print out my schedule. In college, I used to feel like I could hold everything in my mind. I barely used a planner and I never forgot anything. And you guys, I wasn't taking an easy load in college either. I always took like 21 credits a semester, which I feel like the average is like 15. So I got all of my credits done in 3 years, which is pretty amazing. But anyway, my point being is that I used to feel like I could hold everything in my mind. And now I don't know. I don't know if it's because I'm almost turning 29 or what the deal is, but I forget things these days. And so if I can take everything that's circling and spinning in my head, get it on a piece of paper, get it into a checklist, print it out, and then just sit there and cross off things as I get them done. It's such a good feeling. But at the same time, it helps me prioritize. Of course, we always want to work on the things that are the most fun. So for you, it might be getting some of your classroom decor ready, and instead you are pushing aside that curriculum map or whatever you need to get done to get to know your standards better. Maybe you think the standards is fun and you're pushing off decorating till the last minute. If we put it in a sequential order of when it needs to get done by, we're going to feel so much better, and it's kind of going to force us to maybe work on the things that we're not as eager to do. Once you have that list printed off, it's in that order that you need it to be in, and you have an idea of what you need to get done. You guys know I am a firm believer in Google Calendar. Put those most important things on your calendar so you're getting a reminder about them too. Yes, we have that piece of paper in front of us, but like I said, things just happen to slip our mind sometimes, and we need that digital reminder as well to pop up on our phone. So if you have a dentist appointment, a hair appointment, a nail appointment, I don't get my nails done, but a lot of people do, whatever it is, if you have any of those things coming up that you don't want to forget about, put them on your calendar as well. That way, if you're out and about and a friend says, hey, can you help me with this? Do you have time to do this? Do you want to go hang out here? Whatever it is, you can pull up your Google Calendar. Every single thing is on there that you need to see. And now you know, yep, I totally have time, or no, I don't. And then here's what I want to tell you as well. You're already overwhelmed, you're stressed, you're anxious. Do not overcommit yourself. Your first year of teaching is going to be a year of overcommitting yourself because you're going to feel like you can take it all on. And it's actually amazing how much energy first year teachers have. Seriously, if I could go back to being a first year teacher, when I think about all of the things I accomplished that year, all of the extra things I took on, all of the different activities that I played a role in, and things that I just went above and beyond out of my comfort zone, out of the normal role of being a teacher, it's crazy. And that's going to be you this upcoming school year. First year teachers are seriously so incredible because they really can do it all. But back to my point being, You don't have to do it all. Don't overcommit yourself. Don't overextend yourself. If you know that there are just certain things that you cannot take on right now, especially as these last few weeks of summer wrap up and we get into the school year, then just politely say no. Say, you know what? I'm sorry, I can't. You know what? It's not going to work out this time. I would love to. Thank you so much for the offer, whatever it is. But at the same time, that being said, I know I just told you there's so many things you need to get done before the school year begins, but I also want to remind you to just make time for you. You are important too. And so whatever fills your bucket is also what I want you to spend time on. You don't have to have every single thing organized and color coded and just absolutely Pinterest perfect for your classroom, because I promise you, your students don't care about that. Yes, organization is important because it helps alleviate a lot of the stress and helps just put systems and processes in place. But what I'm telling you here is get all those things out on paper, prioritize them into what is the most important and what needs to get done. But on that list, please schedule in yourself too. That's absolutely something that I have put on my list as well, is I schedule in some form of activity for myself every single day. Whether it's going for a walk in the morning, going to a workout class, just walking around the block, it doesn't really matter what it is. I make sure that I prioritize putting myself first too, because that's important. And then at the same time, knowing that we're getting into this really busy season and we might not have as much time for our family and friends, do still try to prioritize them. No, you can't do it all. You can't go to every single event that people invite you to, but prioritize it and make sure you make time to hang out with the people that mean the most to you, because when you feel good and when you fuel your bucket, you're going to just be a happier and healthier person all around. And that's what matters most. Yes, it's important to have a classroom that is inviting and beautiful. Yes, it's important to have all of these organizational things put into place before the year begins, but you also matter too. Who you are as a person absolutely matters. And we want to make sure that we are making that a priority too, because it's easy to get lost during our first year of teaching. We're so stressed out and we're definitely overextending ourselves. And so it's easy to forget what matters most to us. So make time to do those things within these next couple weeks, and then promise me that you'll actually continue to do them once the school year begins too. So just to recap, if you're feeling stressed, if you're overwhelmed, do a brain dump. Get it all out on paper, type it up in a sequential order or write it out in an order that makes the most sense to you. Figure out what are your may-dos, what are your must-dos, what needs to get done, what can wait a little bit, and then schedule yourself in there too, because you are what's most important. Without a healthy mind and body, teaching is going to be that much harder. So put yourself first, get all these things out on paper. I absolutely know that if you take time to do this brain dump, you will feel less stressed just being able to see it in front of you instead of trying to carry it around in your brain and try and remember while you're at Walmart you need to do 18 different things, and then you have to go to Target because Walmart didn't have what you wanted, and you know the drill. So get it out on paper. I promise you, you'll feel better. And then I just want to say before we go today, if you are getting stressed about going back to school, as I mentioned, I have a lot going on too, and I want to invite you to join me on any of those things that mean the most to you. So of course, our College to Classroom Success Summit is happening on July 28th. That is a live virtual summit where we have 9 different presenters, including Sydney and I, who are also speaking there. So in total, there are 11 different presentations going on from everything from classroom organization, culturally responsive teaching, classroom management, personal finance for first-year teachers, thriving during your first week in the classroom. It's all happening on July 28th. And if you can't join us live, we also actually have an option where you can grab the recordings for up to 30 days. So if you're interested in that, you can go to www.college2classroom, like the number 2. So college2classroom.com/summit. You can grab all of the information there. You can check out all of our amazing presenters. It's seriously going to be the best day. But in addition to that, on August 2nd, we are having our back to school night 1-hour PD. And if I'm being honest, it'll probably be more than 1 hour because it's going to be an hour of presentations and conversations. But then if people have questions, if they want to hang out, if they just want to dive in and ask more about how they can be successful during their first year of teaching, that's also going to be happening on August 2nd. So this back to school night PD, it's all about helping you feel successful at your meet the teacher or your back to school night. So if you have a meet the teacher coming up or back to school, our meet the teacher was at back to school, and that's kind of where it gets confusing because some schools have a meet the teacher and then they also have a back to school night, but it is all about meet the teacher. So at this event, the coolest part, in addition to getting all of the content, you're also going to get so many awesome freebies. You're going to get a Meet the Teacher flyer. You're going to get contact cards. You're going to get a flip book full of information. Plus, there are some surprise bonuses that I haven't announced yet. And if you're a Blossoming Teacher member, your ticket is absolutely free. And if you cannot make it, the recording will be housed within the Blossoming Teacher course. So just know that's absolutely an option for you too. If you're not a Blossoming Teacher member yet, just know that there are always coaching calls that happen every single month that you get to get in on, in addition to our PD portal. So if you want to become a Blossoming Teacher member, ndteaching.com/blossom. If you just want to grab a ticket to our back to school night PD, ndteaching.com/BTS. And then lastly, if you're here because you want to know more about the Reignite the Math Classroom, that is happening on August 8th. It is completely virtual, work at your own pace. And so that one, the way it works is when you sign up beginning on August 8th, you are going to have access to all of the different math presentations, and you're going to get access to them until September 9th. We did a play on math 8-8 until 9-9. So there are actually 13 different presenters who are sharing everything from using algebra tiles to engaging students in your math classroom to independent work, working bell to bell. For me personally, I'm sharing about mapping out your math curriculum. So you can also check that out. If you have any questions at all, you know where to find me. I'm so thankful for you. I do not want you to feel stressed out for even just 1 second as you are getting ready to go back to school. So if you need anything at all, send me a DM on Instagram. You know that you can find me at North Dakota Teaching. I absolutely want to help you make this your best first school year you could ever possibly have. And with that, I'll see you next week.
Thank you so much for listening to this episode of the North Dakota Teaching Podcast. If you're enjoying the show, please feel free to rate, subscribe, and leave a review wherever you listen to your podcasts. We really appreciate that effort. Be sure to tune in to the next episode for more teaching tips to make an impact. Until next time.